right. All right, there we go. So, pardon me as I was a little late there. I'm in the process of trying to figure out how to stream to the group, and they've made this so interesting in Facebook now. So, I know we're streaming on a bunch of different platforms. We're streaming on YouTube, we're streaming on Twitter, we're streaming on LinkedIn, we're streaming on Facebook, and we might actually be streaming live in my Facebook group. If you guys are familiar with that, it's called AI and ChatGPT Prompts for Entrepreneurs. So, guys, thanks for bearing with us as we figure all this fun stuff out. Good news here. I'm Jonathan. Most of you know who I am, but I really want to introduce you today to Brittany and Dan. Brittany and Dan are with Elite Communications, and we're going to talk today about bot building. That's one of the topics that we've gone over and over and we've talked about. And most of you know I've had some mixed feelings about bots because candidly, it can be difficult. I've talked to Dan and Brittany about this and the fact that, most businesses wouldn't trust a month's worth of content to be done without them looking at it by AI. So imagine, for example, social media posts. Most of them wouldn't put 30 social media posts out and never look at them. But yet every business owner wants a bot that's going to go ahead and talk to their prospects about things that we can't necessarily even predict. And Brittany and Dan did a great job of really helping me understand how things work and explaining this. And they've got an amazing tool. We're going to today's a quick teaser. We're not going to get into the whole thing. On the 18th of September, we're going to do a full deep dive into this. But before I get into all that, Brittany and Dan, thank you for joining me this morning. Tell me a little bit about both what we're planning on the 18th and tell us a little bit about your bot builder, because I think probably like me, there's some people out there that are a little skeptical about it. And tell me why it is that I fell in love with what you guys are offering.
Absolutely. We'll tell you about our Disney analogy. That's Dan's favorite thing that we always tell all of our customers. Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah. So essentially what we do is in kind of what we believe, and it's really aligned with you, John. We want to make sure that, AI has its separation from where it is. It's almost, you can kind of look at it as like C-3PO and Anakin. Like there's a clear separation there's a robot and there's a human. Very similar to how Disney does their cartoons. Like they have the ability to make a super cartoon to make it look like a human, but they don't. They make large eyes. They make it look cartoonish, and they do it in the best way. So we believe that's where AI lives and should be, and right beside us, really.
Absolutely. So just a little bit about us. We actually come from 6 years of call centers for financial advisors and legal. And the joke is in the industry, if you can do call centers for legal and financial, you can do it for anybody because there's a lot of rules and regulations, but we were really familiar with all of those things. So a couple of years ago when AI came out, we said, wow, this can actually add a lot of value into a lead nurturance process. We were seeing the number one reason people were losing their leads, losing their customers or prospects were from missed calls or not following up with leads and not providing value. And we said, wow, what we can use this tool as is not to replace people, because you'll never replace that person-to-person connection, nor do you want to. But if we can help facilitate more human and human connection and get more people on the phone and get more people help, then that's the value add. So really that's kind of how we see it, is how can we take some of those mundane tasks that are sort of driving people nuts and basically save them some capital and also free up some time. And something that we found really interesting specifically, and I know we'll go into a little bit more detail about this, especially on the 18th, but was that even for law firms, people were responding really well to the AI, and the conversations were actually about a third, if not more, shorter. Because we were just using it as a little teaser, like a little qualifier, or a 24/7 line that they could always rely on somebody being able to answer the phone if they needed to check on the status of their account, if they needed to schedule an appointment with somebody from the office the following day, little appointment reminders. But Dan and I we're really capable of being able to create any type of conversational AI. So that includes phone calls, but it also includes SMS, it includes email, it includes WhatsApp messages, basically any way that you could possibly need to get a hold of your lead, we have an ability to do that.
Right.
And I think one of the coolest things that we saw that I really loved is for small business owners, like roofers and plumbers and
service industries.
They were losing leads constantly just because they're on calls all day, right? They work so hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they work so hard, and they would be up on a roof when somebody called. And the problem is, if somebody needs somebody right then and there and nobody answers that call, they're just going to go back to Google and call whoever's second in line, versus having
Right.
AI perpetually be able to pick up the calls that you're missing and purely be able to answer, frequently asked questions, and with the purpose of setting up an appointment with you, the roofer, not, for the AI to close the roofing sale, but just to make sure that that person feels cared for, they get their questions answered, they, having it understand everything about your business. Even if you go to our website and you actually call the phone number on our website, that's our AI virtual receptionist. And we say that right away. Mm-hmm. This is our AI virtual receptionist. What do you need? Do you need a question answered? Do you need a scheduled call with Dan and Brittany? And we can do live call transfers to people. We can integrate with calendars. So I think it's really exciting stuff. It's really giving the people their freedom. And that's something that Dan and I really prioritize, is how can we take a business owner, small to large, and give them more freedom and more value. And for today, we do have a phone number, so we're going to have John.
I was going to say, yeah, we want to demo that out and show everybody. And yeah. I love the way you guys have got that taken care of. Do we want to do that right now, or do we want to try anything else you want to cover before we dial in and we try that out?
I would say one thing. I know a lot of people are concerned about, just like you said, putting something out and having mm-hmm. the AI, maneuver on itself. And what we've done is we've worked with law firms, and those are highly regulated areas. Mm-hmm. And what we were able to do was really construct some ways where essentially we have 3 guardrails where it's actually preventing it from doing anything outside of its bounds. You hear the stories of the Canada Airlines and stuff, and the AI gave a free flight or something like that. But what we actually have done is built everything to prevent that. And now we've actually gotten multiple softwares that we use, and we're actually in with the software developers. So if anything, if there is a bug or anything that we can fix, we have direct lines right in there. So we have all those bases covered, and we made sure that, we want to make it a good experience for both the customer and the client that we have.
Absolutely.
No, I love that. I love that. So bear with me as I'm getting distracted. I'm getting all these notifications about the new things that Facebook's added to go live in their group, and I'm trying desperately to make sure we get all of these done. Where the good news is, if you guys are watching this live, you're seeing success. If you're watching the replay, then the replay at least worked. So we're excited about that and get that. Well, and this is a good example. So this is talk to me a little bit about this exact situation. So unexpected situation, we're going live, things didn't work exactly as we want. What happens when I've got an AI bot and the conversation doesn't go as expected? Talk to me about how do we deal with that as a business so we don't have an Air Canada situation?
Yeah, I guess first and foremost is, what it's really good at doing is keeping the conversation on topic. For example, when we used to have, in-person call centers, we would see the people actually kind of go on with talkers, and they would be on there for 30, 40 minutes talking about random things like their lunch, random things like they were doing that day. So people were paying almost per minute for those calls. So what we were able to see is that the AI was so good at objection handling and so good at bringing it back to topic. Mm-hmm. So now that we've got these guardrails that's, preventing anything from going out of bounds, it now it keeps it back on topic. So you're getting these really short, to the point calls. So now it's going to be right to you. It's going to get everything done that you need to be done without having to go around the corner that everyone else does as a human.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the strongest points, right? Is people, because we're being transparent and we're saying, this
Yes.
is AI, people aren't going to be telling, for example, an IVR, if they call their insurance company, they're not going to be talking about their lunch. And really that's our goal with these calls, right? But rather than having to sit there and wait through a list of things and say, I think my inquiry is maybe with number 5, but it might be number 3. And then you end up needing to get a representative anyway, because you don't know what your inquiry is. Yeah. that's where this is so strong is rather than making somebody sit through a list, it can ask, what's wrong? What do you need essentially to your client or your lead? And it knows exactly where to route them because it's being programmed in language rather than if-then statements.
Yeah, and the cool thing is let's say someone does ask for a free flight or something, free. You can actually have it just be straight to the point and be like, no, you'll have to talk to someone for that. Or you can actually program some humor into it, and it can actually, say a little joke like, oh man, I wish I could get that for you, but I'm just not, that's not in my pay grade. Like you can have it be extremely personable to, handle those objections too.
Right.
Awesome. Well, and I know we're going to talk about it a lot more on the 18th, but one of the other things you mentioned that I really think is important, and I know some business owners struggle with, but is acknowledging that this is a bot you're talking to. It just literally happened to me with this restreaming software. I use Restream, and I was on earlier today. As you guys know, we were getting everything coordinated for scheduling, and I couldn't find the button because they have a brand new interface. And I'm literally messaging with them, and I'm like, I don't think this is a person. And then I noticed it said right in there, this is their support bot. And I'm immediately, my entire perspective as a customer changed because now I understood I was talking to a bot and my expectations were not necessarily lower, but they were different than if I was talking to a live human being. So I really think that's an important part. But well, let's call in and do a demo. It looks like we're live and everything's streaming. So across multiple channels, you guys gave me a number. Let me find. Oh, and of course, you know what? As I did that, my wife just came in and nabbed my phone, probably to get one of those 2-factor codes. So we may.
We can always give it a call too if needed.
I was just saying, can you guys dial it from your side? Because sorry guys, literally you saw me look down. My phone has gone on the other side of the computer and just grabbed something, and it was probably for one of those 2-factor authentication codes that comes only to my phone. Yeah, let's do that. Let's dial in and let's show everybody a little bit of what that looks like. I'd love to have that opportunity. So let's go ahead and if you guys can do that on your end, let's go ahead and do that.
Absolutely.
So if you're just joining us, by the way, when we're doing this, we've got Dan and Brittany from Elite Communications. We're talking about AI bots. Most of you guys know I've got some mixed feelings about AI bots and stuff, and I've really enjoyed talking to Dan and Brittany about things, and they've got a great system that I'm really impressed with. We're doing a full webinar and showing you how to set up a bot on the 18th. This is kind of just our little teaser, giving you guys a chance to meet Brittany and Dan, see what great people they are, and to give an opportunity to show you how this works. So we're going to dial in right now and live. And Brittany, I'll kind of turn it over to you and Dan and let you guys run with it from here.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and just a little bit of a background on who we're calling here, What AI. This is actually an AI agent that we created for a company that sells ACA insurance, so Affordable Care Act insurance. So it really just qualifies a lead, and then its job is if a lead is qualified for ACA, it will transfer over to a human agent who can then help the person pick the best plan for them and close them.
Well, and I love it because talk about an industry where, saying the right thing matters. It's going to matter a whole lot in that regulated industry.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's something that you're getting as a bonus with Dan and I is just the fact that we do have that 6 years of experience with legal and financial call centers. There's so much to know about TCPA compliance and everything like that. And Dan and I are really proactive about that because we understand it, and it really is a big deal. And I think there's a lot of people out there that maybe aren't in so much integrity, or really, they're not really trying to stay ahead of it. So,
and I think the expectations were set on the form beforehand, because I don't think it says necessarily on the phone call that it's AI, but we do point out that they expect that they're going to be talking to AI.
That makes sense.
Correct. So somebody's filled out a form that says I'm going to be speaking to a virtual assistant. Right. So they do understand.
Perfect. Well, let's listen in.
Perfect. So I'll put him on speaker. Do you want to talk to him?
Okay.
Hello.
Good afternoon. This is Alex from the Health Coverage and Counseling Center. How's your day going so far?
It's going well, thanks, Alex.
I'm glad to hear that. Today, I'm calling to verify if you currently have a medical plan. Do you have health insurance right now?
I don't.
All right, very well. We're in the final period of a special enrollment where the state is providing health insurance at low or zero cost. Can you please provide your zip code so I can check if your county receives the benefit?
Sure, it's 80501.
Okay, give me just one moment while I check if the plans are available in your zip code. I wasn't able to verify with just your zip code. Can I have your full address, please?
Sure. It's 766 South Martin Street.
I need the. Okay, give me just one moment while I check if the plans are available in your zip code.
I'm really impressed with how the response time here is, guys. This is really good for AI. I mean, just hardly any pause whatsoever. This is impressive.
Thank you. And we may have confused her too. I think because we had multiple speakers.
That's all right.
Because exactly.
Leave it to me to mess it up.
It's okay. But yeah, I think, and oh, I'm sorry, Alex, can you continue?
No problem at all. So that zip code tells me you live in Colorado. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Great. Would the benefit be for you or someone else, like family or friends?
It would be for myself and my husband.
Perfect. Now, could you please tell me your age?
Sure, I'm 31.
Thanks. And how old is your husband?
He's 35.
Got it. Now, what's your approximate annual income? How much did you earn last year, or what do you expect to earn this year?
We expect to earn 70,000.
All right. Thank you for that information. Now, I will transfer the call to one of our licensed agents who will help you select the best plan for you. May I have a few seconds to transfer the call?
And I'll hang up so we don't.
Perfect. No, that was great though, guys. And I think it's really cool to hear that demo. It's, one of the things that I know I've picked up on in the past, and it's been a while since I talked to an AI bot, is that there was just such a noticeable delay. And I think when you combine that, what you guys, your technology with how well that's working with the fact that you're being upfront, they know right up front that this is a bot. So there isn't any, then it makes it easy. The other thing that candidly worked out pretty well, even though I jumped in and messed up the bot, I love how it recovered and then still was able to continue the conversation versus just hanging and then not knowing what to do. So that was really cool because that's going to happen. I mean,
nice.
Face it, that's been my concern.
Running around and screaming, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that was really cool. Well, everybody, what I want to really do is I want to encourage you to, we're going to be watching here in the group. We're going to be putting stuff out for the 18th. If you, on the other hand, maybe you're like, Jonathan, I can't wait till the 18th. I want to learn how to do this. So tell us a little bit about on the 18th, you guys are going to be doing we're going to make a special offer for everybody. This gives just a quick sneak peek on that as I go find the link to put up in case they want to share that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're really excited about this. We actually have a voice AI accelerator that we're doing on the 21st. And what you'll be able to do, and our goal with this is to make this accessible to anybody that wants to try it, whether it's somebody that just wants to dip their toe in or somebody who's ready to talk to us. So in an hour, we're going to help you build an AI agent, get a phone number registered for it.
Give you templates.
Yep. We're going to give you a whole library of some agent templates. So if you're a small business owner and you want to be able to just have something like a simple receptionist that you can run yourself, you'll be able to do that. You can take one of our templates and just edit it or write it from scratch. We're going to show you exactly how to do that, how to connect it, how to register phone numbers, step by step, really clear. You'll also get 50% off your first minutes through that webinar or through that masterclass. And if you ever decide down the line, you know what, I don't want to manage this, I'd rather have you guys do that for me, we'll actually apply your masterclass towards that build. And it's just $97 for this group.
Wow, that's great.
It's typically $297, but we really just want to make this accessible to people so they can try it,
Yeah, we've noticed about 50% of people want to get in there and try it on their own, and 50% of people are kind of like, I'm not sure, I want someone to do it for me. So it's really kind of in those early stages, and people kind of want to get in, or they want to have someone do it for them.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, guys, if you're interested in that, we're going to be talking all about it on the 18th. We're going to be actually doing a live build out on that webinar to show you how it works. But if you can't wait, there's a link down below. You guys can go ahead and type that in, and you'll get all the information on that, and you can get set up on that right away. So,
Yeah.
Brittany and Dan, I want to thank you guys for joining us today. I know this is, again, just kind of a teaser for what we're going to do here in a couple of weeks, but really excited to have you do that full walkthrough and show you how that works. Yeah, guys, make it a great day. We will see you in just a couple weeks on the 18th. Talk to you
Yes.
soon, everybody.